Good evening and welcome to Midnight Movie Club and another trailer talk video. In tonight's trailer talk we will be discussing and breaking down the brand new first teaser trailer for Ari Aster's upcoming Scandinavian folk horror, Midsommar. So after a few days of teases, the first teaser trailer finally dropped today, and it has got me asking quite a few questions already. So without further ado, let's get into it. Kicking off the trailer, we get a drone shot of a wooded countryside with what looks to be a group of backpackers travelling to the rural village where all the midsummer festivities take place. Following this is the next shot, we have our first look of Florence Pugh, who plays Danny. Just behind her we can see Jack Rayner, who plays her boyfriend Christian, with other backpackers following. Then at the very back, following what looks to be a member of this pagan cult, probably one of them taking the tourists to the village like lambs to the slaughter. While we get these shots as well, we get a female voiceover saying, "Christian says that you got something special planned." Then a male voice with a Swedish accent comes in and says, "Yeah, it's like a crazy 9-day festival. It only happens every 90 years. I'm guessing that the voice that we are hearing say this belongs to their Swedish friend who may have a connection to this village. I believe he may even originally be from here. It was very interesting to me as well that it only happens every 90 years, as I expected the festival to take place annually. With it happening only every 90 years, that means that nobody will ever experience two of these festivals, and the people of the time will have their own interpretation from past recorded festivals on how to respect them and follow in their footsteps. Over that amount of time, things can get twisted and change. What could have started out as a seemingly innocent festival could have evolved into a bloody nightmare. In the shots accompanying this dialogue, we get our first look at the village with its unique rural Scandinavian homes, its inhabitants all dressed in white, and what seems to be plenty of goats, which worries me. Goats in horror films are just plain creepy. Now this is when the chimes and the bells kick in as the trailer begins to take a darker tone. Even with its bright colourful visuals and beautiful backdrop, it always manages to keep a sense of uneasiness. What I also found interesting was the use of white aspect ratio bars. Not too sure what the thought behind using them was, but I dig it. Moving on, we see a POV shot of someone opening their eyes and being met with the face of one of the cult members, who I believe is called Ulrika. We see a bell rung which looks to signify the beginning of a feast of some sort, while then seeing footsteps of someone walking down between a long line of these villagers, which we will see from several different shots throughout the trailer. As the shot moves from the person's feet to the POV, I can't get over how creepy this girl looks on the right over there. They all look happy as Larry, but I'm pretty sure whatever is going on probably involves this person being sacrificed. This is where we hear a huh exhale noise, which I'm guessing is the new hereditary tongue click for this trailer. I really liked how they edited to it. We then hear the voice of that female villager we saw in the POV shot again saying hello, there you are. While we hear this, we see a really awesome looking carriage wrapped in vines with torches on the top, being escorted into the village by a few girls. I would imagine the carriage is carrying someone important to the festival, as in the back window it looks like they are wearing a flowery headpiece. I actually think it's someone we see later on in the trailer, but I'll talk about them then. Then after a cut back to the villager talking to the person whose eyes we are seeing through, we get another exhale before cutting away to Pugh's character Danny examining some of the sketchings on the inside of the building's walls. Cool wee thing to note, these are all done in the same style to the little teaser videos we were getting last week. All while seeing these drawings on the wall, we hear the cult member tell us, "You can't speak, you can't move, but this opens you up to the influence." While she's saying this, we see a drawing of naked women in the sea holding burning torches while a great fire burns behind them. Then with another exhale, we go back to the POV of that person walking down the aisle of the cult. We also get a glimpse of the maypole and the maypole dancing, which we've seen over in A24's Twitter in the form of a GIF, but seeing it here with the music, the voiceover, and just the vibe of the trailer, it gave it a whole new menacing look, which I loved. We also get to see the drawing of the first tease we got of the maypole dancing as well. I wonder if these drawings may change like the teaser videos we saw. Now what really piqued my interest is the next shot, as she says this opens you up to the influence. We see Jack Rayner's character Christian inhaling some sort of vapour from a pot this older villager is holding. I am wondering if this is what the villagers will give everyone taking place in their sadistic competition to get them to take part and possibly mutilate themselves and others. It looks like some sort of potion or drug conjured up to make you susceptible to partake anyway. Very interesting. Then in the next shot we get our first look at Will Poulter, who we know will be playing Josh. I am guessing he's playing another backpacker travelling through this way, but at this point I'm unsure if all the backpackers know each other or if they are all on some sort of Kon-Tiki tour gone wrong type thing. But what I do know is I love this shot. We have this cool yellow triangle structure in the back, which also has triangle doors and a single window at the top. It looks like some rural Scandinavian version of a pyramid. It's just really cool. I'm sure it may have a proper name, so if it does, let me know in the comments. I'm not up in my Scandinavian architecture. Then with another exhale, we see through the eyes of the character again as they come closer to the end of this line of villagers who are very eager to see them. After this we then see William Jackson Harper, who is playing Mark, talking to an old man who looks like he may be the village's minister or something like that. At first I thought Mark's hands were bound, but they're not. He's just standing listening respectfully. Maybe he's trying to learn more about the culture, although I feel he's about to learn too much. As the female villager's voiceover continues, she says it breaks down your defences, and as she says this, we see this creepy character at the doorway of a building looking in and walking away, before cutting to another drawing where a man is slitting his own wrist. So I'm pretty sure whatever they are giving them is what allows them to do all these crazy things to themselves and those around them. Then we get this very creepy shot of a bunch of villagers all looking up at something looking very cheerful. Now this lady in the middle with the headwear that stands out is the one who I believe to be the woman who was in the carriage earlier. I have a feeling she will be important, as she just looks like an important member of this pagan cult and someone who will control proceedings. Then we get a very cool shot of someone bowed in front of this rune with symbols carved on it, wiping their body hands into it. Maybe this person, just like the picture, has slit their wrist to give their offering or blessing to the festival. Maybe this is some sort of weird opening ceremony. Then we see who's doing all the exhaling, and it looks like one of the villagers as she takes a few quick breaths before turning to leave. Maybe she's about to take part in one of the competition's games and is feeling the pressure. Then we see this old man with some sort of mask on going through the doors that looked similar to the yellow triangle buildings doors, and we will actually see him again in a second from the other side. But just before we get there, we get a very, very interesting shot. We see Pugh's Danny on a hill looking down at something, and this might just be clever editing and not in the same scene, but we see a girl with a swollen face. Now I'm not too sure if she has been beaten or given something that she is allergic to end up looking like this, or if she is deformed. To me personally, it looks like she's allergic to something, or maybe the cult have given her something that is the cause of this, or it is the result of one of the competition's games. Either way, it's a cool shot and it's very menacing. In the next shot we see inside of this triangle building, and if you weren't already getting Wicker Man vibes, then you will now. This building seems to be some sort of barn with bales of hay and hooded figures sitting down on them. I think these hooded figures may just be made out of hay as well and not people, but in the back left you can see someone up against the wall, and at the very back we can see some sort of figures made from twigs. I'm not too sure about you, but I could see this building burning down with quite a few people inside. We also get a good look at this old man with the mask from the front, and he has some sort of red headband which seems to hold what looks like hair over his face. Moving on, we also see William Jackson Harper's character Mark thrown to the floor with some amount of force, I might add, and I think it could be from the man he was talking to earlier in the trailer, as in the background we can see the book he was showing him. Then this next shot is awesome. We get all of these village members standing watching as obviously something big is about to happen, but then there's just this guy here who's just holding a big badass looking mallet. I can't wait to see what ends up happening with that mallet. I wonder who will be on the wrong side of it. Also, I am intrigued by all the different colours the villagers wear on their belts and sashes. Are they to represent different families or something like that? I do wonder. Then we get another big exhale from someone. I'm not too sure why, but this cult seemed to be practicing deep breathing techniques. But otherwise, this shot here is a lovely shot. I wonder what she just drank from the glass, as we see a lot of groups of two looking like they are drinking something together. Once again, just really looking forward to seeing what these games are. We then get a cool match action shot with Pugh's character running through the woods, coupled with some villagers doing some Midsommar dancing. Just a nice little contrast there. This is just before we get an awesome few shots that are edited to perfection. We get a shot of these two people dressed in grey in front of a triangle building, then they teleport up to a bunch of villagers at a dining table before we all see them sit at the same time. I have no idea what is happening here, maybe a feast before the festivities begin, something like that, but no idea who the two in grey are and why they are important. Let me know in the comments why you think they're at the head of the table. We then see what looks like an older villager showing children how to dissect a bear, which is just lovely, just before we get a shot that really caught me off guard. We see someone diving off of a cliff with their arms out to either side as they fall to their death. Personally, I think this could well be what all of the villagers were looking up at and smiling at, and I think this could also be the person that was walking down between the line of villagers who we have been getting POV shots from. Maybe this is them making a sacrificial offering of themselves after being talked into it because they have been given that vapour we have seen earlier. Then to end, we get some quick shots of Pugh's Danny, Rainer's Christian, a couple of villagers, and then, as we are told, "You're going to love it," an older male villager blows some sort of golden dust into the screen. Maybe this is another form of what we have heard lowers people's defences. Maybe they have some sort of herby shit that just fucks you up and makes you do all of these crazy actions without second guessing them. Then just after the title shows, we hear all sorts of crying and wailing as Danny looks through a keyhole. We don't see what is happening on the other side of that door, but holy shit, it does not sound good, and it left me questioning and wanting more. I have to say, great first teaser trailer. It was much longer than I expected. I thought we'd get 30 seconds if we were lucky, but I was extremely happy with this. Once again, A24 smash it with a horror trailer, not giving anything away, just giving us a little taste of what is to come. But that's enough of me talking now. I want to hear all of your thoughts and reactions to the trailer in the comments section down below. What was your favourite part of the trailer, and what do you think this festival was all for? If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like, and if you haven't already, then subscribe to join the club. As always, thank you very much for watching, and good night.